Alright boys, we got this Deus 2 and this 11-inch coil steel out here. Now you all might have seen this last video and you might have thought, well, there really wasn't that much difference between that mono program use and that multi-frequency use. Okay. Anyway, that quarter is still in this box. You might can see it down there, and where my finger is where this nail is protruding. Right there at my fingertip. What I'm going to do, you see how this box is set up right here? I'm going to sweep across this. So the nail is here, and that quarter is basically face up right there underneath that camera. A quarter is a big old coin, ain't it? Alright. Let me adjust this rod on this detector just a little bit here. Okay, we got the rod adjusted. Fast program. Speed 2. No notch. Iron tone is off, I believe. I'll turn it off. Iron tone is off. Now, from about 3 inches above this thing right here, watch what happens here in the fast. Listen, 5 tones in all these. 85 in the meter. Every sweep. Every single sweep. What about the general program? Speed 2. I believe I've got iron volume off, and let's see what it does. Look at that. Every sweep. 3 to 4 inches above that right there. You see me moving that coil over there? Mono program. 17 kilohertz, 6.1 disc, reactivity 2. No iron tone. Look at there. Hear that? You see that meter in that machine? 63, 64, 62, 64. You see that? So if I go in and run notch on this machine in the wild, and that target right there is 4 inches. If that scenario is just a mere 4 inches deep, and I'm running notch at 84 on this machine, mono program, what do you think I'm going to hear? Nothing. Okay? I will even go in here while this target is on top of the ground. Let's dial in 80. We'll just put 80 notch in it. 80 notch is not a bad notch to run with this machine in the wild in a polluted site. Alright, 80 notch. Look at there. Gone. So you're out here in the wild and you're humming along and oh boom, you don't even know that old big old quarter's down there. Now remember that quarter again, you know, it's a bigger coin, but conductivity wise it's as high as a dime. You know, I dug a silver dime mercury out of a park. I know for a fact I swept over that dime multiple times on previous hunts, okay? Deus 2, 9-inch coil went in there, boom, 4 inches deep. Okay, so let's slide over here while we've got this thing up here. We'll just go to this fast program. I'm in the notch menu as we speak. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna put in. I'll put 80 notch in it too. Might as well. 80 notch, 0 to 80. Maybe you see that in that camera there. There's no tricks in this video. You hear that? You look down the meter, you got an 85 in the meter. So if I bury this target here a mere 4 inches deep and sweep from this direction here, what do you think we're going to see on this machine? Well, we're going to do that. Let's see if we see on the ground what we see on top of that foam with this machine. Stay tuned. Alright boys, that little old test fixture there I've sort of made up is about 5 inches in the ground there. 5 inches. You can find good targets at 5 inches. Now, the video I did before, You know, I didn't ever turn on that target, meaning when I had that thing buried down there about 9 inches, I didn't turn on it. I probably should have. We might have seen different, we may have seen even a more significant difference between the mono program versus the multi-frequency programs I showed. But anyway, I showed you the orientation of that box on that phone. Well, it's in the ground here. We're going to sweep from the same direction. 17 kilohertz mono program, 0 to 80 notched out. What do we hear? Nothing. Hear that? You hear nothing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take the notch out of this machine. In mono program only for right now. Alright, speed is 2. This is not an ultra deep setup. I'm seeing 46, 39 in the window. See that? Look at there. Big old quarter down there and a nail. How about that? Would you ever guess that's an old quarter down there? Listen to the tone on this machine. That's 5 tones, 17 kilohertz. We'll even back the frequency up on this machine. Here's 13 kilohertz. Let me ground balance it. Alright. Look at there. See what you got? Listen. Hear any high tone? There's no high tone in there. You got a 58 in the meter. Look at that. 45, 63. So you're out in the wild. I guess if you're digging every swinging signal, it won't matter to a person. Well, I got better things to do with my time in a lot of these sites I hunt. Okay, we're going back to fast program. Fast program currently has a 80 notch, 0 to 80 notch. Listen. You see that meter? 84, 84, 85. Okay, now we're going to go in here. Now, I'm not suggesting that you can't use this DS2 running multi-frequency and notch and get some good performance. You definitely can, but for this test here, for comparing, we're taking the notch out, which I have done. Notch is out. You hear that? High tone. 85 in the meter. So there's a quarter right there. If you was running notch using mono program, you know, 80 is not a bad way to be running this machine to get rid of some of the modern trash. Here you come a sweeping, you don't hear anything. And if you take the notch out of the machine, you get a bunch of 40s, 50s, and 60s in your meter with lower pitch tone. Well, you see an advantage with the multi-frequency on this machine versus mono program. That's a reasonable setup right there, I bury, folks, okay? You can see something like that in the wild, okay? People already have. I'm not making this up. So you select dig with this machine in the mono program, and what we will do in the interest of this video, I'm going to go back to the mono program. The notch is removed. I've done showed this angle of sweeping here. You see that meter? 50. 45. Let's turn on this target here. So even if we turn on the target, the highest ID I'm seeing is 62. 63. You hear it. I'm going to stand right where I'm standing. Fast program. Now, it don't have any notch in it either. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh, look at there. See that? 84. So you can't really even rotate around this target and get a better signal using the mono program at 13 or 17 kilohertz. Now what we will do in the interest of this video, let's go back to mono program. I don't like to get this video too long. We're going to change the frequency to 7.5 kilohertz, speed 2. I will ground balance. Okay, now this is the original position I was sweeping from in the video here. 24 in the meter, low tone. Hear the low pitch tone? 18 in the meter. Right there I get some 59s, 41s. Never hear a high tone. Now I'm going to turn on this target in 7.5. You see that meter? You hear that tone? 34 in the window. 50. Every time I sweep, I get a different number, really. I'm sitting here like, well, what's going on? Back to the fast program. Look at that. Every sweep I sweep, I get an 84, 85 in the window. Consistent tone. So even a target that shallow right there could out-slicker you, you know, using mono program. Now, what about other VOF single frequency detectors? Could I get AF75 and get some higher conductive ID on that target right there? Doubtful. Doubtful. AT Pro, doubtful. Could a smaller call help in that scenario? That is a possibility. But, you know, running hockey puck calls around, you know, they can get you fines. But, you know, you don't get to cover as much real estate as some of these more recent release detectors. Like the Equinoxes, the Manicores, the Deus 2s, okay? Even the Equinox 700 and 800 with a 9-inch call. You know, don't underestimate the Equinox 600 and 800 even. And we see this, you've seen the results on that box right there. You see it buried right there. So these cats that thinks these tests here don't show anything, well, I guess they shouldn't be watching my video, should they? Hope you enjoyed.